What's up, people? So we're back with another video. Hope you all been staying safe and staying free and had a good weekend, ready for this new week, ready to get it. Now this one that I'm bringing to you all today is all about Hmp YOI Polmont. So let's get into it. So for those who don't know what or where Hmp YOI Polmont is, it is in Scotland, and it is just as bad as Hmp YOI Feltham in England. Now, when I was locked up in my category A prison that I have dropped a video on, that is at a couple of thousand now, that same jail I was in, I met two Glaswegians, and one of them was transferred straight from Polmont right to the prison that we was in, and the other one had went to Polmont throughout his life. Now, speaking to both of them on different accounts, they have confirmed the stories that we be hearing about Hmp YOI Polmont 9 out of 10 is true. Now, with the majority of YOIs in the United Kingdom, it does say up to the age of 21, but just because it says up to the age of 21, don't get comfortable. I think that's what they like to do, make people think that they're going to be there until 21, and then when it comes to your birthday on the 18th, if you've been playing the bad man in YOI, that's when they ship you same day right to big man prison. Now, with Hmp YOI Polmont, the violence is just as bad as Hmp YOI Feltham in England. Now, everyday stabbings happen in Hmp YOI Polmont, but on top of it, them man have a specialty, the Scottish young ones, and not just the young ones, the older ones too. They have a specialty of slashing people. Now, when I'm talking about slashing people, 9 out of 10, it will be a Stanley blade because it gives a nice clean cut, and they don't really like to do it with knives, and they will cut you from your ear right down to your mouth. Now, with me growing up in the streets of Southeast London, when we used to see or hear about someone with a scar from their ear to their mouth, that meant they was a snitch. But in Scotland, that does not mean that they're a snitch at all. It just means that they've got into a madness when they were in prison or YOI, and they have that consistent reminder of who done that to them as well. Now, with Hmp YOI Polmont, just like with Hmp Feltham and HMPs in general, you cannot rely on the screws, the guards to save you. Okay, in YOIs you might have a little bit more screws inside because it's youngers, but at more time, if something goes down, it's still gonna take them for quite some time to get to you if you get into a madness. So don't think just because you're in there and they're there that they're going to save you. They're not going to save you. Now, if you are going to a YOI, it is just like a big man prison with Hmp Polmont. There's going to be people in there that's ready, that's going to check you to see what you're about and if you're about that life. And if you're not, you are going to crumble. Now, next thing that I do have to say is as well, I do believe with young males having, the testosterone and being young and living that gangster lifestyle, it does have an influence for the way they be behaving inside of the YOIs, as it is imitating big man prison. Now, with not only just the slashings, they like to stab people in the bum. Now, that came from a gangster, Paul Ferris. If you don't know, go and do a bit of research. It's a gangster from Scotland that actually started stabbing people in the bum, and these young ones be taking on a lot of what these gangsters be doing. So if you are going to Hmp YOI Polmont, you best be ready, as there's going to be people in there that you was arguing with on the outside you're going to run into, or there's going to be a younger that's trying to make a name for themselves, as that's what everyone's trying to do in Hmp Polmont, and just like in Hmp YOI Feltham, making a name for themselves while they're inside a prison. So I hope you all have enjoyed the video. Comment if you have gone to Hmp Polmont. Do stay safe and stay free.